Hey, it's Mark Linney with your video thought for the day. Well, this week I thought I might deal with some emails. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I get a boatload of emails each day, and some of them you just kind of have to get through. Some of them are important work issues or personal issues that you need and you want to deal with. Some of them are informational, your friends catching up. Those are some of the most fun ones for me because we live in an age where we can have friends from all of our life that are all over the globe, and we can keep up with each other through email and social media and other things like that. Well, I thought I would just look at some emails this week with you and go through some of my emails and talk about them from a biblical perspective. And so today's email comes from a buddy of mine who was actually our preacher when I was a kid back in my high school and college and even law school days. His name's Ken, and Ken still in his 80s ministers to people in various venues. And he sent me an email about an experience he had lately. In the email, Ken explained that for 5 years on Thursdays, he would go to this nursing home outside of Donaldson, Tennessee to visit. And he would just make his way through some of the rooms. And one of the rooms he always visited was a room for an elderly lady named Pam. And for 5 years, Ken would see Pam, and he never saw her out of her bed. And as soon as he would go into her room, she would start making requests of Ken. Every Thursday, it would be, would you move my drink to the other side of the tray? Or could you move my dessert closer? And then her final words were always, where's my phone? Well, Ken said her entire existence was centered around her bed because that's where she was. And and he said, but by extension, she also kept a strong existence with Alabama football. She was a big Alabama Roll Tide football fan. And so Ken would frequently poke with her a little bit by coming into the room saying, Pam, have you heard the news about Alabama? They're dropping football because they win all the games. And they're encouraging fans to root for Georgia or Auburn. And she would immediately respond, liar, liar, pants on fire. And it was a give and take. He'd love on her, visit with her, pray with her, and leave the room. He emailed me that last Thursday he entered the room and it was empty. All traces of her existence, he said, were gone. He said he walked out into the hall and an aide said that she had died that week. Ken said, I didn't know, and it hurt. He said, for a few minutes each week, we entered into one another's existence and laughed, poked each other, escaped reality for a while, and prayed. He says, now she's gone, and all those people we love are now one fewer. Then Ken closed his email to me saying this, you and I live across the street from some very lonely people. Some of them never have visitors. Let's change that this week. We could just drop in for a few minutes and warm one heart. His email reminded me of Proverbs 12:26. It says, one who is righteous, and by that a good person, it's tzedek in Hebrew, someone who's godly. One who is righteous is a guide to his neighbor. When we help those around us, especially the lonely, we're doing the work of God. Find someone lonely around you today if you can, and just show them a little bit of God's love. It will transform them as God transforms you. And that's your video thought for the day.